Kid Rock with All Summer Long. My guest of the day is on the phone.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
It's our CEO's Working From Home series, and I'm really proud to welcome today General Manager and Head of India's Zoom Video Communications, Samir Raje. Samir is a man who's very well respected in his sphere, and off late, Zoom is really, how else can I describe it, with zooming. Good morning, Samir. Thank you for talking to me and all our listeners. How are you?
I'm doing good, Hrishi. Thanks for having me here.
My first question is how you're adapting to the work-at-home situation. Are you the person who just goes with the flow? Do you set yourself an Excel sheet to do meetings at home? And how's the domestic vibe going? I mean, we know that not all of us are privileged enough to have regular domestic helps. How's that aspect, getting the groceries and essentials going? So just your CEO or general manager work from home timetable.
So first and foremost, I think being in an organization that promotes work from home tools, I think we were quite adaptive for this, and we encourage our employees to work from home. So this is not something new, but what has happened is this COVID-19 situation has actually overstretched our schedules and the resources across the organization. And that's actually put my schedule in a complete haywire mode. And, the amount of hours that go in per day is phenomenally high because our focus is to continue serving the schools, universities, healthcare professionals, and help people remain connected during this hour of need. So my day starts as early as 5 a.m. and goes on sometimes till way past midnight. Now, that's not a very good thing, I understand. And, it's for the last 1 month, it has been so. But it gives me a kind of sense of pride when people really compliment and thank us that we are helping them stay connected during these difficult times. And I'm lucky to have a family that's supportive and that understand very well that what Zoom is doing for the humanity per se, and are supportive on that. But yeah, I mean, it's quite crazy, but you have to give some time. I try to pull in at least an hour or two with my family every evening. But apart from that, so the work hours range from 16 to 18 hours a day sometimes, and I think it will continue to remain so till the time this situation kind of normalizes a little bit.
Now let's talk about the brand story, and by that I mean, currently nobody is thinking of revenue. You've got to try and put your best foot forward. I know that Zoom is trying to help as many people in businesses as you can to stay connected, whether that's hospitals, schools, financial institutions, government or users. So talk to me about the Zoom story currently and leading up to this, please.
Sure. So I think where the Zoom story starts off is it's simple and easy to use. When you click on a Zoom meeting invite, you can absolutely be sure that it works. And that's what our customers say, right? It just works. That's synonymous with the Zoom brand. As a result, when this pandemic really started off, we saw the uptake of our services across different verticals. And as a first step, we allowed over close to about 100,000 schools in various countries to start using our services at no cost. That was our primary goal, to help teachers, students, and the people in education sector to remain connected. So that was our first goal. The second, obviously, was to support the healthcare team, and we are doing similar things across different countries. The third aspect was, of course, to work with the government, and that's what our brand stands for. And as our CEO rightly says, when he addressed our leadership, it was a clear message coming out that a few years down the line, when we sit back and people sit back and look behind what happened during the COVID-19 situation, we want to come out as a brand, as an organization that helps humanity, and that's what we want to be remembered for. So that's our goal at this time.
Noble goal indeed. More with Samir Raje, General Manager and Head of India's Zoom Video Communications, up ahead. But first, let me play you some Shakira and Rihanna, the lovely ladies, with Can't Remember to Forget You. This is 94.3 Radio 1, One World, your station, and I'm Hrishikesh. Selena Gomez with A Life Lesson, Kill 'Em With Kindness. Samir Raje joined Zoom Video Communications in April of 2019 to kickstart its operations, and they've gone on from strength to strength. Here's the GM and India head Zoom on my CEO's Working From Home series.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
also the Zoom India story. I believe you're working with various branches of the government in India, both central as well as state. I'd like you to tell us about that, please.
Absolutely. So we have been engaged with different ministries and different divisions within the ministries, trying to explain them our architecture, trying to explain them about our functions and facilities, and even trying to help them in various ways in terms of their programs, in terms of how they can reach out to people within the remote locations, etc. So we've been doing quite a lot of work around that part, and our goal is to help the government of India to take the right decisions and also communicate the right information to the people of India.
In terms of COVID, I mean, you've actually been very lenient. I believe you've taken off the 40-minute time limit and a few other things so that people can actually use, Zoom without worrying about all the other, non-essentials or the frills or being hampered in their freedom to use it. So talk about, stepping up to the occasion as far as COVID-19 is concerned.
That was our first step when this entire situation emerged out of China and started spreading in rest of the countries. Our first thought process was that, while this is happening, we understood that we had to step up. We had to do something for people. We had to do something for the education sector, especially, which was taking a beating because students not being able to go to schools and teachers struggling to communicate back to parents as well as to the kids. So with that goal, we first and foremost started removing the 40-minute cap for all the institutions, K to 12 institutes, and we did that for India as well. Now, when we did that for India, we had to do proper planning because India being a huge country, and we have a massive mass of population that needs to be catered to, right? So our engineering team had to be geared up in terms of the surge in volumes. We had to increase the capacity at our ends. We had to make sure that none of the schools that put in their requests are turned down. So we worked on that, made sure that there are enough capacities, and then we made the announcement through various channels stating that now schools in India can also go ahead and start using it. And we will continue to do so wherever possible. We will try to help each of these sectors in education as well as healthcare.
Yes, I like the sound of that public-private partnership, the way forward for our nation. It's Sameer Raje, General Manager and Head of India at Zoom Video Communications, my guest of the day on the show. Let's go robot now with the Red Hot Chili Peppers on 94.3 Radio 11 World, your station. My name is Hrishikesh. Michael Bublé with the positively romantic Haven't Met You Yet. Sameer Raje is on my CEO's Working From Home series. He's GM and India head at Zoom, the only video-first unified communications platform which has taken the country and the planet by storm. More conversation with him.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Sameer, India has this history, very unfortunately, of Chinese whispers over WhatsApp, and in between there were a lot of questions raised about the safety of Zoom, the security aspects, and you want to reaffirm or reinforce the belief in everybody who's listening that you're absolutely safe and secure. So you want to take us through waiting rooms, passwords, domain contacts, and some standout features, please?
Sure, absolutely. And I think it's quite unfortunate that this kind of misinformation was being shared or is being shared across the various platforms. But yes, there were certain things which happened, and would like to clarify on that. The first aspect being that, when we opened out our platform for the schools and different institutes, individual users, etc., we saw a complete different kind of users coming in on our platform. Our platform was designed for the enterprise grade, to be used by enterprises. And when you use the platform in enterprises, there is a different way of using it. There are passwords, there is an etiquette of using it. Whereas these users, when they came on board, they were coming on board for the first time. They were probably unaware of the best practices. They were unaware of how to safeguard themselves in the virtual world. So we took it on ourselves to embark on a journey to educate these users, to enforce certain, as you rightly mentioned, enforce certain security parameters. Like, for example, setting of password, right? It was always a part of our platform. But what we did is that for individual users, now we mandate using of passwords for all meetings. Similarly, we enhanced certain features which were already part of our platform and brought them in the front. Now, while this was happening, and again, we saw a massive growth. We saw a growth of 10 million participants joining on our platform to over 300 million participants coming on our platform in a span of 12 weeks. So when we were scaling up, obviously there were some mistakes on our side, which we made sure that we correct them in less than 24 hours, and we took right steps and fixed those issues. That was the second aspect, and we released close to about 4 different upgrades to our software so that all these issues were fixed. And obviously, I would like to put on record that we are an American company, and our CEO is also an American citizen, and we are a Nasdaq listed public limited company. We trade under the ticker of ZM, and we also comply with almost all the local regulations in Europe, in US, and wherever the country of our operation is. And our CEO has put up a great blog today highlighting the same thing, about his identity and about Zoom's identity. We have been functioning in US for a long time, and we continue to be an American company. We do have certain development aspects in China, like most of other multinational companies have. But those software engineers, they don't have any access to our, direct applications or anything. That's a completely different setup altogether. So yes, Zoom has been a safe and secure platform ever since, and it will continue to be, irrespective of whatever misinformation is out there.
Well, I'm glad you clarified that. In conversation with Sameer Raje, GM and India head at Zoom Video Communications, slipping in our artist of the month now, the beautiful Dua Lipa would be the one. Right here on 94.3 Radio 1, One World, your station. I'm Hrishikesh. Sean Kingston with his hit song Fire Burning. Say hello to another bright business leader on my CEO's Working From Home series. He's general manager and head of India for Zoom Video. Their modern cloud architecture gives their platform its trademark reliability. As people say, it just works. More chat with Sameer Raje.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Let's talk about your favorite business leaders, captains of the industry who inspire you, Sameer Raje.
Well, I'm lucky enough that I don't have to look very far away for an inspiring business leader. My business, my inspiration comes from our CEO himself, who is Eric S. Yuan. And I have never met such a humble person in my entire life. So he's such a great leader, and who simply, if I have to put it in one word, he cares. He cares about the customers and cares about his employees. I have yet to work in any other organization where a CEO of such a large organization would sit down or stand in a queue with his employees to grab his lunch and sit down with his employees and have lunch with them together. Any of the tables random, it's not pre-decided. So such a humble person, and in every single day or every single activity that he does, it reflects that he cares about us, he cares about the customers, and that's what keeps us going, and that's what drives us every single day. So I don't have to look very far. I think I'm very lucky to work with such a leader.
Wonderful. Sameer, books that you've read that have really inspired you, something that our listeners can put on their reading list and take a cue from you?
Well, I think my all-time favorite would be Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach. I think that's one book which taught me to never have any limitations and think beyond the boundaries, do beyond the boundaries. And that's what I keep on telling my family, my kids, that, don't limit yourself in terms of your thinking and what you can do. Always think beyond the limits, and, there's no limit on your achievement. So I think that's my all-time favorite. The other book which has inspired me quite a lot is the memoirs of Chris Gardner, 2006, which was actually turned into a movie, Pursuit of Happiness. But I think that's more related to sales, and it's actually, again, quite motivational for me.
Those are lovely, lovely choices and picks. Okay, we can indulge in wanderlust, even though we're not allowed to travel during the lockdown. Armchair wanderlust is what we call it. A favorite travel destination that you've been to yourself solo, Sameer, or, that you've been to with the family, with the wife and the kids? What would that be and why?
Well, I think, needless to say, the Himalayas, I think I've been there a couple of times, and solo, that too, and it's a different place. I don't think it's on this planet altogether, I would say. You are in a different world when you're passing through any of the passes, be it Taglangla or be it Khardungla or any other pass, or you're at Nubra Valley. I mean, it's a completely different world. You're in heaven, I would say, and that remains to be my favorite. The first opportunity I get anytime, I would want to be there again.
Well, a mountain man, our captain of the industry today, Sameer Raje, general manager and India head at Zoom. A last leg of conversation up ahead. Wait for that as I play you some Bastille and Pompeii. My name is Hrishikesh, and this is 94.3 Radio 1, One World, your station. Major Lazer and DJ Snake with that monster worldwide hit called Lean On. Home stretch of my CEO's Working From Home series. After effective tenures at Cisco, WebEx, IBM, Microsoft, West Unified Communications, Intercall, Sameer Raje is now general manager and head of India at Zoom Video Communications. I'm chatting with him on my CEO's Working From Home series.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Samir, I believe you're an avid runner. Little birdie tells me you're also a cyclist and an automobile enthusiast. So what kind of motorcycle is something that you enjoy getting on and doing those long drives? Talk about that, your passion areas.
While running, I took up very recently, just a year back, and I've been doing half marathons. That's turned into my passion. But cycling and motorbikes has been my passion for as long as I can remember. I've owned and ridden various kinds of motorcycles, right from my dad's Jawa 250, which was probably one of the first ones, and I still have it. It was my dad's first bike and the only bike that he ever owned, to Royal Enfields, to some of the good machines that are now in the market, including Honda Africa Twin. So I've been an avid rider, having Royal Enfields and so on and so forth. So I've ridden almost to every part of the country on some of these machines.
That's fabulous. I noticed that you're an engineer. You've been an engineering student, and engineering guys, they always say love their rock concerts and going to gigs. A music concert or gig that you've attended, Samir, and also your memories of your days in school and college, some favorite memories or nostalgia.
Well, that is something which, it's very, I think, different, because I distinctly remember my professors and my teachers used to frown at me because I hardly used to attend the school and college, because most of the times I would either be out working on motorbikes or doing something else, and I would attend the college only during the exam times. And I remember my professor asking me, "Are you really part of this college?" And I used to study only during the exam times, and that pulled me through. And then that was about me. About talking about the gigs, I'm an avid listener of old music, be it English or Hindi. I love Hrishikesh and Hemant Kumar and Kishore Kumar on the Hindi front, and English is more like 70s and 80s rock and classical. So if I have to remember the gigs, being an engineer and a college student, I remember going to Bryan Adams and Michael Jackson where they were in country, and I think those are memories etched forever in my brain probably.
Wow. My last question is Zoom's vision for India. There is no doubt that there's huge potential for Zoom video communications. Where do you view the India story going, at least in the near future, please?
So I think we took some time to initiate our operations in India because we wanted to be absolutely sure about what we do and we would be able to cater to the Indian market. We also wanted to be absolutely sure in terms of, India is a very unique market and customers are also very unique. And I would also say that, they need a lot of personal touch and, they're a little bit demanding, I would say. So we wanted to be sure that we have the right teams who can address all that. So we have that, and we are here for the long run. We will not only be looking at expanding rapidly and growing in line with what our global plans are, but also look at, increasing the focus, hiring more aggressively, and doing as much as the localization of our solution as much as possible.
Super stuff. Samir Raje, General Manager and Head of India Zoom Video Communications. Thank you very much for being on my CEO's Working From Home series, and all the best to you. Cheers.
Thank you, Hrishi. Thank you.
Great business stories there. I'm sure you'd agree with me. Let's serve you some music to go with it. Here's One Republic and their COVID-19 song, Better Days. I'm Hrishi K, and this is 94.3 Radio 1 World, your station.